I always end up sitting on the floor talking. I'm okay with it. It's gonna be a thing. So, welcome back to my channel. If you're not a fan of people getting really choked up talking about something that they're obsessed about, then don't watch this video because my eyes are already crying and I don't plan on stopping my emotions from coming out my eyeballs. So there's that. This video is very much a raw part of my story, and I get deep really fast because I really love authenticity. So sorry that I don't have more get to know you videos before I spill my whole heart out. Actually, I'm not sorry, because if I did more little small talk get to know you videos, that would be completely out of my character. So I was laying in my, I'm already freaking crying, Jesse Patterson. So I was laying in my bed just now and I was talking to my friend Taylor, and so my birthday is in a few days, and I'm just thinking of like where I was a year ago and the despair that I was in because of the eating disorder that I was caught up in, and I was so trapped, and I was so convinced that I was never going to be healed, and I was so convinced that I was never going to find life, and I was so convinced that for the rest of my life there would always be a part of me that was still sick. Because I remember hearing several times and just like reading, you know, like, you know, those little GIF, not GIFs, but is it pronounced GIF or GIF? That's the real question here. But like those things where it's just like a quote and it's like really deep and you read it and you're like, oh my gosh. But I remember reading one where it was like, I was never prepared for the morning that I would wake up sick or wake up with an illness and never be better. And I remember like, I'm gonna have to backtrack. So a year ago, last May, I was admitted to an eating disorder clinic in Colorado, and I stayed there about a month, and I was released early because my insurance cut me off. That's a story for another time. And yeah, I was very, very sick, and I remember I came home and jumped right back into my illness. But I remember reading that quote while I was in the hospital in Colorado, and I really was just like, gosh, that's me. I have an eating disorder and I'm probably never going to fully recover from it. I'm probably always going to still carry part of it with me because this is such a big thing and it's been my whole life, and I don't see how I can just start completely new and not have any of the traces of the disorder still in me. And it was the most terrible feeling in the entire world because I felt like no matter how much treatment I got, no matter how much counseling I went to, that I would always still be a scarred piece, like a little piece of pottery that had a chip on it. That I would never be just this complete piece, that I would always have that chip. And so I was sitting in bed and I was just really missing all of the girls that I was in treatment with, and just really just thinking about, you know, all of us just cheering each other on and, you know, all this stuff. And I just started thinking about where I am now, and I just am so thankful. I just love life so much. And I'm so thankful for where I am now because I cannot explain the turnaround and the freedom and the healing that I have experienced in the past year, but especially the past 6 months. Like I'm not lying or trying to sugarcoat something or anything like, or downplay. I feel 1000% free from my eating disorder, and I still struggle. And I posted the other day on my Instagram that I wanted to binge. You about to see homegirl wipe her nose on her shirt because this is real life. Even celebrities like me have to blow their nose. I'm not a celebrity, wow. I am free from it, and I just felt so overwhelmed with thankfulness, and I'm just not going to stop sharing my story. And I'm not going to stop talking about the freedom that I'm experiencing, and I'm not going to stop talking about how much I love life, because I'm living something that I never thought was possible. So I guess I just want to send a message to, here, message number one. Message number one, I need a microphone, and I don't have a fork in here. You know what? This is fate. Fork mic! So my first message goes out to all of my girls and guys struggling with eating disorders and struggling with body dysmorphia. It is entirely possible for you to be free from the struggle you are going through. And you are not your struggle. You are not bound by your struggle. I don't care what lies the eating disorder is telling you. I don't care how long you've been struggling. Freedom is yours, and it is entirely possible for you to be free. It is entirely possible for you to look at food and not think about the calories that are in it. It's entirely possible for you to enjoy a meal with friends and not feel like you are gross or disgusting or fat or worthless because of what you ate. It is entirely possible for you to work out and not feel like you need to just totally destroy your body or change everything about it. It is entirely possible for you to love yourself and live in freedom. It is entirely possible. It is entirely possible for you to live completely out of the pool of the eating disorder with your feet on solid rock, unbound entirely. It is entirely possible for that to happen to you, and I do not care. I do not care what statistics say. You are not bound by a number. The statistic is not the bottom line. And I know that the statistics are not in the favor of recovery, but you and I and all of us are going to change that and see that happening, because we are not just a statistic. We are a valuable human being with a purpose and a life that needs to be lived, because the world needs it and you need it. Everyone needs you. It is entirely possible for you to be free. And I'm not going to stop sharing my story, and I'm not going to stop fighting for you and holding your arms up for you when you're not strong enough to hold your arms up yourself, because I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe in you, and I'm going to do whatever I can to fight for you. I'm going to do everything in my power to fight for you. I love you. My second message goes out to eating disorders, and I know you can hear me because I know mine could hear me when I was standing up for myself. We are going to take you down. You should be very afraid, because you're about to get your ass handed to you by guys and girls that you think you have control over. We're gonna take you down. Sorry. No, I'm actually not sorry. But you eating disorders everywhere are going to be sent back to the pits of hell where you came from, because you're all freaking liars, and you're trying to steal the joy and the freedom from my brothers and sisters, and that is absolutely not okay with me, and I'm not going to shut up until everyone knows what a loser, weak loser you are. Even when I was at my weakest, I'm still freaking stronger than you, because love lives inside me. So take that, eating disorders. I'm just going to let you know, if you are going to continue watching my videos, that you are going to hear me mention probably the following things several times. 1, I love life. 2, I had an eating disorder. I recovered from an eating disorder, something along the lines of that. 3, I love life. You're just gonna have to be okay with me talking about all of this, because it's absolutely important, because I think that the silence and the taboo towards eating disorders and all that crap needs to end, because there are people who are trapped with lives that need to be lived, and I'm not okay with them being bound by insecurity. So there's that. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Bless up.